And I'm Moxie, and today we're going to be going over the basic motions. And first we're going to start talking about big cinnamon rolls and little cinnamon rolls. So when we say big cinnamon roll, we mean this part of your hand that goes out right here. And then when we say little cinnamon roll, we mean the back part of your fist that would show in a touchdown. Okay, so now we're going to work on high V. So your big cinnamon roll should be facing forward, and your wrist should be straight, not broken. And so make sure that they're a little bit out in front of you, not all the way back here. And yeah. Now we're going to explain a low V to you. So a low V is basically the same exact thing as a high V, except your arms are lower. And you're going to make sure that your wrists are straight, and that your big cinnamon rolls are showing, and that they're slightly in front of you. So now we're going to be showing a touchdown. So your little cinnamon rolls should be forward, and your arms should be straight up, and they should be like almost touching your ears, and they shouldn't be back in front of you. They should be perfectly aligned, a little in front of your ears. Now I'm going to be going over candlesticks. Candlesticks are very similar to a high touchdown, but are right out in front of you, and your cinnamon rolls are facing right up to the sky. You want to make sure that your arms are parallel and your wrists are not broken. So now we're going to be going over tabletop, which is kind of similar to candlesticks, but you kind of bring them in. So your fist should be aligned with your chin, kind of above your collarbone, and they should be perfectly level and straight, not tilted. You should be able to make them like a tabletop and put a glass of water on top. Now we're going to show you an example of a low touchdown. A low touchdown is very similar to a high touchdown, but is obviously lower. You want to make sure that your arms are straight, your elbows are kind of near your rib cage, and you don't want them sticking out. You want them just barely right in front of you. And you want to make sure that your big cinnamon rolls are showing towards the crowd. Okay, so now we're going to be showing an example of teeth. So your big cinnamon rolls should be facing towards the crowd, and your arms should be perfectly straight out, and they're not behind you. They're not perfectly, they should be a little bit forward, just like that. And then you want to make sure that your arms aren't crooked or sideways, like a diagonal. You want to make sure they are perfectly straight out. Now we're going to demonstrate a broken T. A broken T is very similar to just a normal T, except your elbows are going to be bent in towards your chest, and your fists should be right in front of your armpits. You want to make sure that your little cinnamon rolls are showing towards the crowd, and you want to make sure you're not diagonal or anything like that, not going crooked. You want to make sure that your shoulders are not bending downwards. You want to make sure that they're perfectly level and straight. So now we're going to be demonstrating both bow and arrows. So your little cinnamon roll should be out with the arm that is bent in towards your chest, and it should be right at your armpit. And then your other arm that is completely straight out should have your big cinnamon roll facing towards everybody. And then it's the same for the other side, just opposite. Now we're going to demonstrate clap and clasp for you. So for clap, it's as if you were clapping, but obviously it's going to stay still. Your fingers are all going to be straight. None of them are going to be intertwined or anything like that. You want to make sure that they're all straight and facing up towards the sky. You want your elbows to stay in kind of near your rib cage again. And you want to make sure that you're not chicken winging it or anything like that. And you want to make sure it makes like a triangle. And then we're going to show you clasp, which is very similar to clap, but some people get it really mixed up. Clasp is, instead of having it straight, it's going to like bend towards. You're going to start to intertwine, but not your fingers, just your hands. So, like, yeah. So now we're going to be going over the left and right L's. So this is a left L, and you want to make sure that your arm is up, not touching your ear, but just a little out from it. And then this arm should be even with your shoulder. So you shouldn't be like down halfway or up halfway, and you shouldn't be in a diagonal. It should be perfectly a crisp corner, a nice 90-degree angle, and then it's the same on the right side. And your top cinnamon roll should be little, and then your bottom cinnamon roll should be big.